Hello, my name is Jim Insignia, my wife Tina Insignia, and I have 3 different businesses here locally in the community of Waxahachie, and we always look for ways to give back to the community. We are community minded, and when we found out about the Adopt a Class program, that was the way that we were going to make an impact in the school district for the school year.
I'm Katrina Stewart. I work at Clift Elementary. This would be my 5th year at Clift. And I'm so excited for the new year, and the Adopt a Class program it's phenomenal. Always so nervous when someone comes in my classroom, but Jim and Tina made that when they introduced themselves to the kids, they embraced the kids. They were so good with them as far as talking to them and just having a little side conversation. So I was like, okay. But then when he started talking about being a good student, being a good person, that really resonated with me, because we've talked about in our SEL lessons as far as them being good people, being good students to someone when no one is looking.
So I first heard about the Adopt a Class program through Facebook and our wonderful friend Sandy King. And I got to thinking about that opportunity, and so I brought it to my wife and told her that I really thought we should get involved that way to be able to make a difference with the children's lives. So we went ahead and signed up to do that. We're really excited to do it. The first day, we were kind of nervous to meet the kiddos, and we weren't for sure how they were gonna take us and react to us, but it was really smooth. Miss Stewart's class was amazing. She was amazing, and the kiddos just tuned in right away. So my thought process going into this was to find out a way to give back to the class, not just by grading papers or reading stories or things like that, but I wanted to make sure they understood how they can make an impact in the daily lives of everybody they interact with. In other words, how to be a decent human being and how to give back to the community through ways of thoughtfulness or giving.
So we challenged the kids a couple weeks in to do a food drive, and they had already had one kind of school district wise, so we weren't really sure what kind of response we were going to get. So in order to incentivize that with the kids who doesn't love pizza, so we told them if they filled our boxes that we had decorated, they helped decorate, that was fun, and told them if they had filled the boxes that they could have a pizza party. Well, then that evolved into, well, where does the food go, and who gets the food? And so Jim came up with the idea to do a field trip to Waxahachie Care, which is one of the nonprofits we help support in town.
Well, I'm Wade Holman. I'm with Waxahachie Care, Operations Director at Waxahachie Care. This is my wife, Kimberly Holman, and she is the Executive Director at Waxahachie Care. So without the hundreds of volunteers that come by, there's no way we could survive. It's just too much. We go through about 600,000 pounds of food in a year, and there's just no way we could make it without our volunteers. Jim called me that day and said that he was part of the Adopt a Class program, him and his wife, and he wanted to do something outside the box. And of course, I'm like all ears now. And he told me he would like to do a food drive, but then he wanted to bring his class over here and put that together. And what the idea was, what the class wanted to do was come over here, bring their food, and go through that food, date that food, label that food, and put it on the shelves. And I thought that was really a neat thing.
And when they're up here, it is a little education on what this one can, the process that the can go through from the grocery store to your house, to Waxahachie Care, to the neighbors and to their home, and how many people it feeds. And we have seen where kids started out coming up with a school class, and then their family is up here volunteering as a whole. So now it might have started with a kid and not the parent, but the child learned it from school, went home, told it to the family, and the family's like, well, let's go do it together.
For them to see the next step is really an eye-opener for them, because you pass by it or whatever, but you don't really know what's going on the inside.
And these are 3rd graders, so we figured if we started to make an impact in their lives that way right away, it would impact them for a long time.
The academics is always going to be there, but you want that that whole child. You want that well-rounded child to be able to pour, because if you pour into that child, then they're going to pour into someone else.